So, as I told you, when we learn about Europe, it is important to know about France. Okay. So, let us understand what the concept of nationalism, how it got emerged in Europe. Okay. So, when I write the name nationalism, okay, just 1 minute. When I write the name nationalism, okay, this big word has a word hidden in it. Okay, this big word nationalism has a hidden word in it, and the hidden word is nation. Okay, we already know what is a nation. Let me try to tell you what is a nation. Okay, nation is nothing but it is a group of people who live together, who share some common culture, who share some common language, who also share some common identity. Okay, that is called as nation. Okay, we are proud that we are a proud citizen of our nation. Okay, always we keep on saying the word nation, but let us try to understand the concept of nation first. What is the nation? What is the concept of nation? It is nothing but it is a group of people who live together and who share common identity. Now we are talking about nationalism. Okay, I know what is nation, but I also need to know what is the meaning of nationalism, which I'm going to study in today's chapter. Nationalism is nothing but it is the feeling of attachment of a particular nation. Again, I'll repeat, it is the feeling of attachment to a particular nation. Okay, a state of belongingness towards my nation. Oh, this is my nation. I love my nation. I have some belongingness to my nation. I am an active citizen of my nation. I have some belongingness towards that nation. So in this way, we come to know that the word nationalism means a feeling of attachment of particular nation. Let me show you some picture related to it. So here we go. Now try to understand what is the meaning of nationalism, which we are going to deal today. So as I told you, it is the belongingness towards a nation or an ethnic group. Don't try to write whatever is given on the screen. It is just for you to read, okay? But try to understand what I am speaking, okay? Just don't keep on reading whatever I am sharing. Only try to listen the explanation of what I am sharing, okay? Now, as I told you, we are learning the meaning of nationalism. So as I told you, nationalism is the feeling or attachment of belongingness towards our nation or ethnic group. Okay, if you are not connected to your nation, you won't have any feeling towards nationalism. But when you are connected to your nation, you automatically have a feeling of nationalism because you are belonging to that nation and you are citizen of that nation. Okay, now let us try to talk more about the concept nationalism in Europe. Okay, as we are going to study this chapter today. Europe is a continent. Okay, first we will deal with France to understand. First, the nationalism rose in France and slowly it got emerged in Europe. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you that let us deal about France first. Okay, now when we talk about France, okay, we talk about French Revolution in France. Okay, French issues we talk. Now, when you take your textbook to page number 1, you will see that there are many pictures in that textbook in the first paragraph. Okay, there are pictures, and that pictures are portrayed by Frederick Soriot, who was a painter. Okay, he has drawn 4 paintings in that. Okay, and the fact of French Revolution is known when you observe those pictures. Okay, so he has made 4 paintings in which he expresses the feeling of nation and state, how a state should be. A state should be republic, social. Okay. These pictures depict the feeling of a republic state according to his imagination. We are talking, as he is a painter and he has given these 4 paintings and he tried to depict some meaning of what he dreamt, how a state should be. Okay, and this all was started in France. Okay, so he has shown us this picture to show the belongingness of one group or one nation. Okay, then he has also shown in the picture Statue of Liberty. Okay, and in that, through that painting, he tried to tell the people that he portrayed his dreams related to Europe. How should Europe be? He initially had a dream where all the people of Europe are marching towards the Statue of Liberty, where we are one. Okay, where the Statue of Liberty stands with a torch showing light to the people. Okay, he is trying to express his dream through these pictures. Okay, where he is showing the Statue of Liberty, and the picture, a short description of the picture I'll share with you. What is that? I'll show you the picture. Most of you might not be having the textbook as well, so I have bought a picture of that. So I want to share with you the picture of this Frederick Sorio. So basically, this is the picture he has shown in the textbook, and he initially is telling his dream where all the people of Europe are marching towards the Statue of Liberty. Okay, and the Statue of Liberty is showing a torch, a light to the people. He wants the people to understand that when there are rights given to the people, people can live happily. Without rights, people cannot live happily. Okay, people should have the rights to govern themselves. Okay, they should know their aspects and they should have the right to govern their selves. Okay, now let us try to understand what exactly happened in this French Revolution. What is French Revolution? How it started in France? How it got connected in somewhere in nationalism in Europe? How it got emerged in Europe? Let us try to understand about French Revolution, which is also shared in your textbook. Okay, I have read it and I'm just telling you the explanation of that paragraph of what is French Revolution, which was started in France. Okay, now French Revolution had an absolute monarchy system. Okay, French Revolution had an absolute monarchy system. Now, what is the meaning of absolute monarchy system? Absolute monarchy system is nothing.
To rule that country.
Yeah, correct. So it is a term which is to express a powerful king. Okay, a powerful king, maybe a royal king is known over there, and he is the person who rules. Okay, who is running the government and whose words are final. Once that king, that emperor, okay, who is leading this absolute monarchy gives an what we say opinion, that opinion is considered as the final words of the emperor. There is no above authority, okay, above him to appeal these people. Whatever he says, this monarch, okay, whatever he says is the final words. Okay, so this type of person who heads the government comes under absolute monarchy system. Okay, so this French Revolution in France was having this absolute monarchy system. But how long it exists, let us try to understand that. Okay, so this type of person who heads the government comes under this monarchy. This person most probably comes from a royal family. Okay, he doesn't come from a middle class family. He is a royal king or emperor who heads this monarchy system, and he is the king, and whatever words is given by him is the final word. Okay, so In France, we had this absolute monarchy system till the year 1789. You can write this, okay? This absolute monarchy system in France only lasted till 1789, till the year of 1789. What happened after that then? Let us try to understand that. Once the revolt broke down after 1789, the people started walking down on their streets on their own. Now they don't want a king to rule over them. Okay, they wanted them to rule amongst themselves. Okay, they don't want a king. Okay, they wanted to make the king run away from this monarchy system. They were fed up of this monarchy system, and they decided that we will not go with this absolute monarchy system further. After 1789, the people of France, they decided that they will not go further with this absolute monarchy system. Okay, now if monarchy system is not there, then what should be the next thing? Okay, now they don't wanted monarchy system, then what should be there in existence? So they decided that they will have a body of active citizen. These people of France, they don't wanted the monarchy, absolute monarchy system. That's why they decided that they will have a body of active citizen. Now, what is the meaning of this body of active citizen? The body of active citizen of people means who are actually facing problem. Okay, there are some people who are actually facing problem, nor they are the kings, nor they live in royal family, but they are the one who actually face the problem. Okay, and when people face a problem, they become a part and parcel of the governance. They understand, okay, this is my problem, how will I overcome this problem? Okay, so people only decided that whoever, okay, whoever is facing the problem will be the member of this body of active citizen. Okay, and they only tried to become the part and parcel of governance. Means these were the group of the people who actually faced the problem and who actually tried to overcome those problems on their own. Okay, now they don't want somebody from the royal family to guide them what has to be done, when what things has to be avoided. Okay, they wanted to rule themselves. Okay, so that's why they got a system which was called as body of active citizen. Okay, but now, but when this will be beneficial for them, when these people have actually gone in that scenario. Okay, now body of active citizenship they have made, but there should also be some rules, okay, to run this body of active citizen. Now what is the exact duty of this body of citizen, active citizen? Let us try to understand that. So the duty of the body of the citizen, active body of the citizen, is to shape the future. Okay, is to shape the future of the nation. The role, the main motto, the main aim, or the main duty of this body of active citizen is to shape the future of the nation. Now, how to shape the future of the nation? They need to have an uniformity. Okay, uniformity means one, everyone should be equal uniformity of rules. Okay, there should not be any discrimination between people, that you are the citizen so you only have to do this duty, we don't know this person, nothing like that. Equality should be practiced and uniformity of rules. Okay, they tried to portray the first duty. They started shaping the future of the nation. How? By removing the discrimination. Okay, and coming together and forming one uniformity of rules where everyone should follow the same rule. Okay, this land belongs to everyone. Their motto was, this land belongs to everyone and there should be equality, no discrimination. Okay, so the second duty was to follow equality and to avoid discrimination. Okay, so to follow equality. So till here we have understood the role of the body of active citizen. Okay, now let us move ahead. So they bought a word which was called as la patrie. Okay, which people bought? These people who were working under the body of active citizenship. So this is very important. Okay, they bought a word which was called as la patrie. This is a Latin word. Okay, la patrie. Now what is the meaning of this Latin word la patrie? La patrie means fatherland. They used to consider the place as fatherland. Okay, la patrie means fatherland. Okay, now what is the meaning of this la patrie? It is the meaning is fatherland, means this land belongs to everyone, particularly to the citizens. Okay, the main aim of this fatherland was that this land is belonging to everyone and they are the citizens of those, and those who are the citizens of those nations should respect this fatherland. Okay, now they also bought first word, everyone will write this. Okay, the first word which they bought was la patrie. The second thing which they bought was the concept of decision. They bought the concept of decision. Okay, decision means nothing, but it is called as citizens. The first thing they bought, la patrie. The meaning of la patrie is fatherland. The second thing they bought was decision. The meaning of decision means citizenship. Okay, I am the citizen of a particular citizen. Okay, that form was bought by these people. And the third thing which they bought was tricolor flag. So these were the three things which was taken into consideration by this body of active citizens. Okay, so first was la patrie, means fatherland, means the land belongs to everyone and everyone is equal and they should follow the uniform rules. And then the second thing was decision, means citizenship. Okay, and the third one was the tricolor. They bought their own tricolor. Okay, when this happened, when the absolute monarchy system stopped after 1789, all these things took place in France. Okay, and slowly it got emerged in Europe. Slowly it started spreading in the neighboring countries like Germany, Italy, and also Europe. Okay, so till here I hope everyone understood. Please, one of you mute yourself, and if you have any doubt in this, please let me know. Everyone understood? You can say yes, no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let us move ahead. So I hope you understood these three things which were bought by French Revolution after absolute monarchy system. Again, I'll repeat: la patrie, fatherland; decision, citizenship; and tricolor flag, which showed the symbol of nation, which is going to emerge outside. Okay. Then after that, what these people did, they renamed the monarchy system as government. Okay, first the system was called as absolute monarchy. Now the system is called as government. The name government came into existence. Okay, in France. Okay, so the name government came into existence. They renamed the monarchy system as government. Now with this, they bought new patterns. Okay, which new patterns they bought? They bought new hymns. They sung new hymns. Okay, they also bought different languages, different songs, different hymns. Okay, many variations was seen. Okay, and very important thing, they made French language as the spoken official language. French language was declared as the main language in Paris. Paris is the capital of France. Okay, so French language, which was spoken in Paris, and that became an official language over there. Okay, so one more thing they bought, French language. Okay, French language was spoken as an official language during that period. Then they also decided that these change will awaken the people and they should be considered in Europe also. Okay, now these France people, they thought that this change is suitable for everyone. Okay, now only France should not get developed by these changes. It should get emerged in Europe also. So slowly, it started awakening the people in Europe. Okay, this change started coming in Europe also. So they literally wanted different nationalities to come up in Europe. Okay, and then started the concept of nationalism in Europe. Okay, after this French Revolution, it gave rise to this nationalism in Europe, which we are going to study in details today. I hope till here everything is clear. So now let us try to understand the concept of nationalism, how it got emerged in Europe. Okay, first the French Revolution started in Europe and slowly started spreading in the countries. Which countries? Europe, Germany, Italy, Hungary, Australia, and so on. Okay, when you read it in the textbook, you'll come to know what it is. So this was all about French Revolution. Now let us talk about more about Europe. Okay, now Europe was divided into two parts. Okay, first was the East Europe and the West Europe. Now, why this separation was made, let us try to understand. Europe can be broadly categorized into two parts, East Europe and West Europe. Okay, Eastern and Western. Now, after categorizing these two contents, okay, East Europe and Western Europe, we observe that there are autocratic monarchies here. Okay, now what are autocratic monarchies? That I'll try to tell you. Okay, a term called as autocratic monarchies. Which come with an arbitrary rule, with family and hierarchy. The same thing, okay, which was practiced somewhere in France was seen here also. Okay, the people of autocratic monarchies were very less in Europe, very less in numbers, but they were very rich and they were the influential people. Okay, that means everyone were influenced by them. Though these people, this autocratic monarchy people, they were rich, but they were very less in number in Europe. Okay, and these people were seen in this Europe. Okay, that were these, the name of these people was autocratic monarchies. Okay, here they and they had their own rules. Okay, with family hierarchies. They came from hierarchy and they did not favor the interest of people. They also were the same way they were ruling, the same monarchy, the absolute monarchy system, and this autocratic monarchy system is one and the same. Here also these people were not going to favor the common people. They were ruling themselves like a king only. Okay, they were not in that depth of these people that okay, we are going to think of the welfare of the people, the welfare of the nation. No, nothing like that. Okay, they had their own rules which were seen in Europe. Okay, they don't have any collective identity. Okay, now these people is not having any collective identity. That means religion is different, culture is different, the language which they spoke was different. Okay, but still these people used to come together. Why? You know, because they had only one king. And it is important that when you try to listen to the king, you know, okay, he is my judge, I have to listen to him. Okay, so the monarch system, this monarchies, okay, the monarch system in Europe was binding these people together. Okay, only this was binding these people together, nor any language, nothing. They were not having any common identity. Only the king, only the monarch, okay, he was the guiding person for these people. Okay, only they used to listen to them. Okay, now let us try to understand autocratic monarchy and autocracy. Okay, what is autocratic monarchy? I have told you right now. Now what is autocracy? Let us try to understand. Sorry, aristocracy. It is not autocracy. Aristocracy. And middle class people. That will understand. Okay, what is aristocracy and middle class people. Okay, now as I told you, there was an emperor, okay, in Europe, and this emperor used to guide the people in the Europe. Okay, and all the people only used to listen to the emperor. Okay, these emperor were very small and very less in numbers. Okay, but because of their working only, these people of Europe binding together. Okay, now if we take the example of two countries over here. Okay, if I take the example of two countries. Okay, the first country is Austria and the second country is Hungary. These two countries, if I take, okay, if I take an example of these two countries. Now Austria is the country and this Hungary is the second one. Austria country has its own religion, its own culture, its own language, everything different. Okay, and the other one, the Hungary. Okay, this country is also having its own language, everything different. Nothing is common, but still they are binded together. Why? You know, because the Austria and Hungary come under the control of one monarch, that is the Habsburg. Habsberg, Habsburg family. Okay, so here by this example I understand the meaning of aristocracy. Means there is only one monarch, there are different countries, but because of this one monarch family, these two countries can bind together. Okay, they can share a common relationship, they can bind together because of this one monarch system. Okay, so this was practiced. Then let us move ahead. Now let me tell you the more about aristocracy and middle class, which I had written further before. The other major class which is in existing in European society was aristocracy. We have seen three classes till now. Okay, first class was what was that? Any one of you, come on, please revise. What was the first class which we saw today right now? Anyone?
Autocratic monarchies.
The second one, aristocracy, and the third one, middle class. Okay, these three classes. The other major class which was in existence in Europe was aristocracy and the middle class. Okay, let us first learn about aristocracy now. Now what is aristocracy? The people of aristocracy have a common way of life, they have their own estates. Okay, and the language spoken by them is French language. Okay, now I'll write for you. Aristocracy. What is the difference? First, they have common identity. Common identity means what? They have a one French language which is spoken as an official language over there. Okay, So this was the common identity over there, that they had only one language and all people used to speak in French when they used to have an official and diplomatic talks. Okay, so only this was the common identity which they shared. Okay, as compared to the autocratic people, they were not having any common identity. But yes, aristocracy people, they have an common identity. They share same language, that was the French language, which was used for official purpose. And they also had marriage bonds and trends. Okay, they had all marriage bonds and trends they used to practice between each other. Father used to get her daughter married to the son which was in one religion or one group of people. So this was practiced in this autocracy and autocracy people. Okay, the language which they and the marriage system. Okay, with they also maintained a status of autocracy. Okay, aristocracy was the people, they used to have a common identity, they had a common language, they used to get married in the common group or trend, and this living, the way they used to live was updating their status of living. Okay, so this was the thing. Now next comes the peasants. The peasants are one more group. Peasants are nothing but they were the laborers, the workers. They used to work in this Europe. Okay, whatever land was there, they used to work on that. Okay, based on this was the another major class of the people which was found here. They used to because of these peasant, then comes the middle class people. Now what are middle class people? The people who used to live with their own identity. They used to have a common what we say salary. Okay, they used to work, they used to perform different trade activities. So these people comes under middle class people who has but they are not very rich, but they come under the third category, where these people, they used to earn for themselves and they were satisfied with what they were earning, and they used to live a happy life. So these were the common and major as well as important classes which were seen in which were seen in Europe. Again I'll repeat. First one, which were the four classes which we studied in Europe?
Autocratic monarchies,
Yes, correct. Second,
aristocracy,
yes,
peasants,
yes,
middle class.
correct. Absolutely correct. So these were the classes which we studied. I hope everyone understood. Now let us move ahead. Now, as we know about middle class got developed. How they got developed, let us try to understand. A common man raced towards development. How? Because of the term industrial revolution. Because of this term industrial revolution, the development of a common man started because of this industrial revolution. Because the truth that came forward in industrial revolution revealed the truth that a common man can also work in industries. Okay, irrespective of the agricultural field, they also can move ahead, not only doing agriculture farming. No, they can even think more, they can raise up their professions, they can come up with trade, they can come up with their own talents. Okay, let the climatic conditions be anything. Okay, whether it is a specific time or no, because of this industrial revolution a common man started thinking more widely. Okay, they started trading, they started making their own outcomes, and they started trading in the countries. But because of this industrial revolution it became so important for them that this industrial revolution made the people trade not only within the countries but outside the countries also. They started trading in abroad countries also, and this trading was known as international trading. So this was the main purpose of this industrial revolution. Industrial revolution really gave a very good part of success to these common people, the middle class people. So nobles came and went, monarchy system came and went, aristocrats came and went, peasants came and went, okay, and middle class people also came, and they are still existing, okay, means the development is taking place, okay. Now this industrial revolution also earned income, and they also traded, okay, and so this made the other people also to step in and become own in their identity, okay. People got inspired, okay, and they thought, okay, I also can do something good, I also can own up my profession, I also can work on my profession, and I also can do some trade business. And this not only men's but women's also started taking part in this. Women's also thought, yes, I also should move ahead with this, okay, I also should come ahead with this, I also should come up with my own profession, with my own business, with my own something talent I should, and I should make it as my business, okay. So women also took place in this what we say, in this system of industrial revolution. So this was the rise of nationalism, which started with a good point where absolute monarchy system was eradicated. Totally a new system was started, which was the body of active citizenship, and we studied the duty of active citizenship as well. We also studied the three classes of the people, the four classes of the people. Okay, now let us move ahead and try to understand what is National Assembly. Now, who bought this National Assembly? What is the meaning of National Assembly? Why are we studying National Assembly? The French Revolution, which we studied in France, okay? The French Revolution bought this National Assembly. French Revolution bought National Assembly. What is the role of this National Assembly? After this assembly came into existence, all the people were considered as equal. When National Assembly came into existence, equality was practiced all over Europe, okay. The term equality came into existence, okay. So this was the thing which was going on, okay. So after the people considered equal, there was no discrimination practiced at all. They were made an active citizens, and these people started living in harmony. So after this has been done, this was the year after 1790. After 1790, there was a term, okay, a club, which was called as Jacobins Club. I hope everyone understood National Assembly. It is just a short content which comes in your lesson. No need of going more in details. It is nothing but it is a government where people got to know their rights and people came to know what is the term equality. Okay. Now, after this National Assembly, in the year after 1790s, the Jacobins Club came into existence. I'll be sharing a PPT for this to know what is Jacobins Club. So this was established all around France, and it also spreaded somewhere in Europe. And secretly, a revolution which took over the ruling in 1791 was done by the leader Robert Pierce. Okay. So he was the one who was the leader of this Jacobins Club. I'll be showing you the image. Afterwards, you can write what was the duties of these of actually the Jacobins Club. Okay, that I'll be showing afterwards. So what was it? What was this person's aim? What this person Robert Pierce do? He regulated the market prices. Okay, the market prices were high. They were high, and because of that, these common people were suffering a lot. They were not having the peace only, that how to live with this price. Okay, so first and foremost, what he did, you know, he regulated the market prices. He also, y'all can write this, what was the work done by Robert Pierce? okay, in Jacobin's club. He regulated the market prices. He reduced all the grains which was sold in the market, okay, and he kept it in such a way that it should reach a common man, okay. All the grains which a common man cannot afford, okay, that was reduced, and the grains which a common man like wheat, jawar and all, okay, the grains which a common man can easily take, okay, that was replaced by the grains which were not required by this person, okay. And this was sold in the market, and it was considered in such a way that it should reach a common man, and this was declared by him. And because of this, most of the people started liking him, okay. Obviously, when a person is doing so much for you, the person is considered as a king over there. So people over here started believing in him. They thought that yes, he is a good man. He is thinking of our welfare. Okay, he has reduced the market prices. He has given some good grains for us. Okay, he is thinking the welfare of the people, and all the people started liking him over there. And because of this, most of the people started liking his administration, the way he is ruling the country, the way he is ruling the region. People started liking that way. But later, what happened was he started to eliminate people, those who are supporting those who are not supporting his ideologies. Okay, now there were some people, okay, now suppose in 100%, suppose if you take an example of a class, okay, all the students are studying, but 10% of the students are not studying. You cannot force them to study because they are having their own what we say, they are having their own interest, okay. They don't want to study at that particular time. Maybe that timing is different, or maybe they want something more interesting so that they pay attention to that particular lecture. So same way in that country, some people were not following his ideologies, the way he used to teach, the way he used to the people were not understanding him, okay, that they don't want him to be for a long time their king, okay. So uh, so after that, when he came to know that, oh, there are some people, those who are not listening to me, those who are not following my orders. So he started to eliminate these people, those who are not supporting. He started to remove those people from that region. Okay. And then when people and and then when people came to know that, oh, he is not working in a proper way now, he started to work in a group, okay, to behead the person. And then after that, please mute yourself, children. There's a lot of noise in the background. Thank you. So when people came to know that yes, this person is trying to eliminate us, is trying to remove us from the country, then people started hating him again. Okay, they started to work in a group. They themselves only made a group, and they thought that this king, this particular person, will go away from here now, because we don't want to listen more to him now. Okay, whatever he told was good, but now he is continuing to do the same thing. And then he thought that, then people thought that he is removing the people also, and what if he removes us also? So that's why now people only made a group and started to remove him from the country. And later he was beheaded because he wanted people to follow his restriction. And that's why people started means people did not want to listen to him, and that's why they don't want his restrictions on him. So now his power was a zero power over there. And then people had to face the situation of directory rules. Now they removed this person. Now who will govern these people? Okay, then they themselves only formed a rule which was called as directory rule. Okay, and then this group of people, they came together and they made a rule, directory rule, and all the people started following the same rule. So this was all about the Jacobins Club, about Robert Pierce. I'll be showing you the image to try to understand. So here we have completed most probably the 40% of the chapter. Now let us see the slides, and then more we'll discuss on those slides. And then we are still remaining with Germany and the formation of Italy, that we'll be dealing next Friday. revise again.
We can.
Ma'am.
Ma'am,
Ma'am. You can't hear me.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, so, so this was the okay. This Napoleonic Code comes in the Germany that we'll be dealing the next Friday. Now let us try to revise whatever we have learned. I want you to sit with your notebook. I'll be giving you some questions. I want you to answer them correctly so that I also come to know that yes, you have understood. The first question: who was Frederick Sorio? Who was Frederick Sorio?
And can you make the spelling of that guy, ma'am?
SOFEDRIC, Frederick. FEDRIC, Frederick.
He was a French artist.
Yes. RRIEAU.
And Frederick what, ma'am?
Answers you can write later on. First, try
What
to
is
write the
Frederick
answer.
what, ma'am?
We'll discuss.
Frederick what did you say, ma'am?
Hello. Yes.
Ma'am, Frederick what did you say? Frederick what?
Am I audible to you?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Try to tell me what you were saying.
And after Frederick, Frederick what because I did not hear him after that.
The first question I hope you all have written. Write down the second question. Which three concepts were bought by the nationalism? Which three concepts were bought through the nationalism in Europe?
ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Which three concepts were bought by the nationalism in Europe? Third one, how was the absolute monarchy system absolute monarchy system transformed as the active body of citizenship? These are all personal response question. No need of learning, no need of searching. Only you need to write whatever you have understood through this lesson, through this session. Okay.
Ma'am, can you repeat from
Okay.
transformed?
How was the absolute monarchy system transformed as the body of active citizenship? The body of active citizenship.
Okay, ma'am.
Then one more. Which four classes were observed in Europe?
Ma'am, were observed.
In Europe. And write 2 to 3 points on National Assembly. That's it. Whatever we have done today, that many questions I have given you. So you can solve it and then we'll discuss. Okay. In the next session also we'll discuss, no issues. Let us move ahead as we are having time. Let us take the chapter ahead and let us try to understand the next concept. Any one of you is having doubt in this, whatever we have learned till now? You can go ahead, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me. I'll be also sharing you the notes. Okay, you can just go through the notes and then we'll also discuss the question answers once the lesson gets over. Now we'll study about the French Revolution and the idea, that we have done with. I'm so sorry. The making of nationalism in Europe. Okay, why there was a need to make nationalism in Europe, that we are going to study now. Okay. I hope you all can hear me.
Yes.
Everyone can hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Actually, there is a lot of range problem today over here. That's why maybe the problem you can get it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, the next concept, making of nationalism, is over. Now, the next concept we'll take is what is liberal nationalism and what it stands for. All these notes I'll be providing with. So if you fail to write, no issues, but see that whatever you understand, you are just making a flow chart kind of thing in your book, a mind map kind of thing, that okay, this I have learned from today's lesson and I have to
Yes.
study this. So now we learn liberal nationalism. And what is liberal nationalism and what it stands for. Now, when you read the word liberal, okay, the word itself is giving you that there should be liberty. You know something about liberty. Liberty means I have my own freedom, I have my own rights, I know my own what we say, I know what I have to do and what I am not supposed to do. Okay, I have the liberty of choosing my own profession, bringing that profession into existence as success, working on that profession. Okay, so that is the meaning of liberal nationalism. Okay, so in the earlier 19th century, Europe was closely allied to the ideology of liberalism. Somewhere they used to practice, but there, because of this monarch system, it was lost, and that's why they started following again the liberalism factor, the ideology of liberalism. Okay, the term liberalism derives from the Latin root liber, meaning free. Okay, I am free. Liber, Liber, liber means I am free. Okay, liberalism, liber means to be free. It stands for the freedom of individual and equality of all before the law. I have freedom, I have equality, I have to choose my profession, I have to work on it, but it should not cross the limit of the law. Which limit of the law? The government, the body of active citizenship, the government, which was renamed. Okay, it should not cross the law. I have liberty, but it should be within the law. It should not cross the law. It also emphasized the concept of government by consent. Okay, whatever I am doing, it should be under the law of government and it should be authorized. Okay, it should be shared with authority person. Okay, suppose I try to start a particular business or I try to start something in my country or in my region, it should be approved. It should be approved by the rules and by the norms of the government. Okay, so same way I have to follow a procedure, a law, a procedure according to it. Then a constitution and representative government through parliament. Okay, I have to just go across all this authority people. I have to tell them that okay, this is the thing I have to do, and should I go ahead with it or no. Okay, I should follow the norms. Then now in that right, okay, in that freedom, in that liberalism, okay, what else come? A right to vote and to get elected when generated exclusively to property owning men. Okay, this right to freedom includes everything: right to freedom, right to education, right to vote, right to get elected, and right to stand as an representative. Okay, all these rights come under liberalism. Okay, that comes under liberal nationalism. Okay, then it doesn't only comes with men, but it also comes with women. Women is also having the right to work. Okay, they are also having the right of liberty, which comes under again liberal nationalism. Okay, men without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Okay, means the men, those who are having owning their own property. Okay, first that revenue system was practiced. Okay, somewhere between before the war of 1857, before the struggle of 1857, the land revenue system was practiced. That land revenue system was renowned, okay, it was renewed, okay, and after that the property belonged to that particular person only. So that was one more rule which was practiced, which again is seen in liberal nationalism. When you read the textbook, you'll come across these words which I am reading, okay. Then so women also had a right to make her own group and to give a rise to her own freedom, okay. Suppose she can make a group of her own, okay, she can take ladies from a country or from a region and she can make her own group and she can fight against the laws for women's, okay, that freedom for women's. If at all the freedom is not given to a woman, then she can make a group of her own self and she can fight for her right also. This was also included in liberal nationalism. Obstacles to economic exchanges and growth by the few commercial classes, that was also, yes. So all the, I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody tried to speak. Do you have any doubt? Okay, fine. So all the obstacles related to economic policy, the financial affairs, everything, okay, the whatever economic obstacles were there, that was also dealt by a particular sector, okay, a particular person, a particular manager, and that also, he also had the right, and that right was also practiced in liberal nationalism, how to put the proper things in proper place, okay. A proper system was arranged in this liberal nationalism. So this was all the work which was done by liberal nationalism and how liberal nationalism stand for and what is the main thing, okay, over here. Now we'll stop here, I think, because whatever we have done, when you read it, you'll get a clear idea. I want you all to read whatever we have done in your textbook. I hope you all must be having textbook, so you can go through that textbook. I'll not move ahead because it will be too much for you. Whatever I had decided, more than that we have completed today, and I hope you all have understood.